You'll all remember Dr. Chris. Here at St. Elsewhere's Hospital, Chris has been on quite the leadership journey over the past few years. She's managed to learn how to delegate effectively, have crucial conversations, and develop her team to the level where they feel supported and the unit is humming. These achievements have not gone unnoticed. As recognition for a job well done, Chris is preparing to deal with a whole new set of challenges, a multi-site team, performance issues, and team members who aren't performing optimally and where morale trending downward, patient safety issues, declining measures, and patient experience, staff disgruntlement, a stressed out job, and a lack of role clarity. What can Chris do to approach this challenge? Chris realizes this all needs to start with people, and there are certainly more people than she's used to. She's gone from leading a team with 4 direct reports she already knew to 14 that she doesn't. This will be a steep learning curve. On the plus side, she has the confidence of her manager, who has appointed her into this role. Her priority is to connect with her team and build their trust in her. She needs to meet with her team members early and often and wants to make sure these meetings go well. She reaches into her handy leadership tool bag for her trusty trust equation. She knows that she can start work on her credibility and connection right away, but that her reliability will take some time to demonstrate. Chris hopes that by sharing her vision with her new team, and the great things they will do for patient care, the team will trust that self-interest is not her motivator. Fortunately, she has also packed her triangle of influence, which is the right tool for this job, capable of crafting a narrative for her team conversations that demonstrates her credibility. She uses stories to connect them with the impact their team will have on individual people and backs up the emotional response with data. She can see that her team are starting to connect with their purpose. Things are looking good. Chris's manager Flo has set some goals for her. However, Chris can see that there are priority issues that need addressing now and plans to build for the future. Where to start? She decides that the urgent priorities are ones which are impacting patient care or the functioning of the team. There are quality and safety issues being caused by dysfunction in her group, and this needs to be sorted out. This team needs to be roadworthy before they can plan their journey and hit the road. To help on the journey, Chris reaches into the handy mechanics toolbox to build a shared vision for the team. She realizes that after building this vision, she and the team need to develop a strategic plan to achieve the vision. She decides that a consultative approach with the team will lead to the greatest success, so she arranges meetings to develop the direction and actions they will need to take. She feels that being collaborative and inclusive in the process will show the team respect and build on their expertise, interests, and ideas. Chris explained to the team that they should develop a short, medium, and long-term group of objectives using national standards to frame the planning and to prioritize the network strategic plan, the state health department's health priorities, and funding sources. Deciding on outcomes with quantifiable intermediate and endpoint is important to the group, as reporting metrics must be given to hospital administration to show progress. Chris decides she must trust the team to execute all their delegated responsibilities, focusing on things in their sphere of control and sphere of influence. The team decides to target their efforts to areas likely to yield short-term wins and long-term success. Chris feels this is important to build morale and bring people along for the journey. Together, they will form individual wheels that work to keep the project moving in a unified and forward direction. Chris is excited by her new role and the direction her leadership is taking. She pauses to reflect and decide the type of leader she has been and the type she wants to become. Chris has had success during previous management roles and decides to copy successful behaviors from the past, but refine them for the present. Chris is aware of the Myers-Briggs personality assessment to determine her personality characteristics and decides to use this validated tool to help refine previous behaviors and guide her leadership style. Chris thoroughly assesses her own capabilities to be an intentional leader and decide if further training is required. She will undertake further training if she finds capability deficits. She is actively seeking a mentor to support her development as a leader. Chris settles on an intentional leadership style and promises herself that she will maintain a strong moral compass. She appreciates the trust equation will help guide her behaviors, understanding also that there are difficult aspects of the role. Just like every road has corners and potholes, difficult conversations and performance management, saying no and setting boundaries, role modeling and enforcing above the line behaviors are challenging parts of her role but essential to development of her team and execute their strategic vision. After that, Chris can focus on the medium to long term goals. She needs to seek clarity from Flo about her role and that of the team. This will allow her to shape the strategic priorities and future direction of the team, understanding that clear road signs are essential to any journey. She also will need to begin work on the new access model that Flo requested while developing a recruitment and retention strategy. To kickstart the work she was promoted to achieve, Chris has identified key staff issues that need to be addressed while forging the road ahead. These include a history of underperformance, high staff turnover, and dissatisfaction. The mindset of the group needs to be brought back above the line with a collective growth rather than fixed mindset. She has noted three challenging staff members with their own behavioural issues that are having a negative impact on the team. However, these key staff also have a breadth of experience and great potential and could help her lead in coached, supported, and delegated roles. Edwina is medically experienced but a domineering force. Although she may not have great insight into how her domineering nature may be impacting negatively on the team, situational examples of her behaviour may give insight into impact when discussed in a collaborative manner using the SBI model. She will require minimal direction but additional support initially to get things back on track. Jo is also very experienced and so a valuable leadership resource. She was initially disgruntled with Chris's appointment, leading to some below the line uncollaborative behaviour. However, now that Chris has been able to apply the triangle of influence and gain Jo's trust, she can be delegated a key role within the team. On the other hand, Steve is new, innovative, and keen to perform. However, he has grown dissatisfied and will likely leave the team if things don't improve. Chris is clearly looking for opportunities to restore his enthusiasm, with his growth mindset placing him in an ideal position to be coached in his role and allocated specific tasks. Chris also has the big job of developing and piloting a new access model for patient flow across 4 sites, intended to become a benchmark for the rest of the organisation. Whilst this involves members of her own team, she will also need to engage more broadly across the organisation. This will create the foundation for spread of the initiative and allow her to include a mix of skills to contribute to the work. Chris could keep Belbin's team roles in mind as she approaches the formation of the team. After all, you need all kinds of workers to build a safe and clear road. Using a combination of thinking, action, and people roles, Chris will ensure that she has people within the team that enable the project to come to fruition. Using a framework like this will help Chris identify potential individual team members and more clearly define their roles and expectations beyond the clinical expertise which each of them bring to the collective. As is often the case in healthcare, the team that Chris pulls together for the Access and Flow project will be time limited. This creates an opportunity for Chris to develop the team based around the goal. But given the achievements she has made in the last years within her clinical department, she will be able to draw upon her skills in developing relationships with people that will truly generate impact for the project. As the team learns to work together, just as a roadworthy car moves smoothly on a less bumpy road, but negotiates other travellers, Chris should expect that the team will move through various stages of relating to her and to one another. It's likely that beyond their formation, they will experience storming and norming as they develop their own microculture and move towards performing and delivering the project. Given Chris's role in guiding the project to completion, it's unlikely that she will be involved in the day-to-day tasks that need to be completed, but she can hold some of the uncertainty for her team as they move through the more uncertain stages in the beginning of the work, helping them develop their roles and build trust amongst the team. Chris understands from her lived experience that with such enormous challenges of managing a disgruntled and unled team, she is at risk of becoming overwhelmed, lose sight of the bigger picture, and disconnect. She has learned that maintaining a priority to manage her own mental health and work life balance is essential, not only to her performance, but the team's, and thus risk project success. She can now identify and manage her personal derailers, including personalization and blame, the need to always succeed, and engage in emotional reasoning. Understanding what sits in her circle of control is important for Chris. To help her in balancing the pressures, she plans to re engage with the leadership coach and her mentor, reach out to colleagues in similar roles, maintain physical health, family, and self time, and ensure her leave is planned with cover well in advance. While the Access and Flow project, as well as her team, form some of Chris's main priorities, she is conscious of the evolution in her leadership style as she reflects on the fixed mindset leader she was at the infancy of her leadership journey. She acknowledges that this has not always been easy and that she needs to work on balancing all her priorities to maintain an understanding of her leadership shadow and ensure leadership congruence, leading by example. As important as managing her own personal pressures, Chris recognizes that she also must balance the team's pressures. Of utmost importance is ensuring she is on ground, listening to her team, to be in the present moment without judgment and observing the day to day interactions. Split between 4 sites, she will schedule time at each site. After all, the road controller must keep eye and check on all cars on the road. She plans to create development opportunities for her team members, including formal learning sessions, as well as creating formal social and collaborative interactions within the team. Chris must also learn to identify and manage conflict within the team early before they blow out of proportion, from a dent in the road to a giant sinkhole in the road, and impact negatively on the team's performance. By building collaborative culture within the team and between other teams, Chris aims to maintain above the line thinking and behavior to achieve what is best for the organization, the team, and herself as both leader and individual. This for Chris is the ultimate destination at the end of her leadership highway, not only to achieve success in the project, manage her team well, but importantly ensure sustainability into the future, well beyond her next promotion and well beyond retirement.